there is such a thing known as discipline beyond discipline. And I liken it to an individual that has poor posture. And someone notices them, or they notice someone that has good posture. Now this individual, in its relaxed position, walks with his back slouched, his shoulders rounded, stomach sagging. As I said, they either notice someone or they're made to notice that they have poor posture. It's brought to their attention. So they stand at attention with their shoulders back, back straight, stomach sucked in, and they hold it for 15 seconds. And then it becomes strenuous, and they relax. And then they try it again, and they relax. And then their focus goes to something else, and they resort back to their normal posture until somebody else brings it to their attention again. And if that happens often enough, the individual develops a discipline, and that is to achieve a state of good posture. Now when this moment happens and they achieve the state of good posture, it's no longer in the forefront of their minds that they have to maintain this good posture. But what is happening is the same amount of energy that was exerted initially to straighten the back, to bring the shoulders back, to suck in the stomach, is still going on. So that discipline is still going on, even though you don't realize that you're still doing it, because now, for the individual, good posture is natural. So it has come to this point through discipline, and it no longer recognizes that it is under that same discipline, because it's no longer, or it no longer seems to be an effort, although the effort is still being applied. This is a state of being that it was accomplished through discipline, which no longer seems to be discipline, but the discipline is still in effect. So it's a discipline beyond discipline. Now with regards to, and that was with regards to your statement that you believe that enlightenment is an ongoing process, at least while you're in the physical. But you have to realize, of course, that the physical and the spiritual are just terms from within the subjective reality. But what is enlightenment? The Buddha, which is kind of synonymous with enlightenment, was born in a palace, in luxury, in comfort. And one day the Buddha decided to go, or wanted to go outside of the palace, outside of the compound with which he was existing. And incidentally, it kind of reminds me of the Judeo-Christian concept of the Garden of Eden. But anyway, the Buddha goes outside, even though his father didn't want him to go, which is ironic, because in the Judeo-Christian Bible, or concept, the child was pushed out of the garden. In this one, the child wanted to leave the garden. But anyway, he went outside and he saw a side of life that he wasn't even aware of existed. And it troubled him. And he began to think on it, until he came to the realization that he should renounce his loyalty, his friendship, and go out into the world and become a part of it. finally, I believe, you get, I don't know how the story went now, I forget, it's been so long, but he finally got underneath a baobab tree and meditated and realized, became enlightened, so to speak. And where did the enlightenment occur? I mean, the stirrings began when he wanted to know what was outside that palace, when he was curious, when he became curious, when he saw something he didn't understand, and he set out to try to understand it. Enlightenment is the whole thing. It's the whole enchilada, so to speak. It's the moment of unconsciousness, or being unaware and then becoming aware and then trying to understand what it is, the unawareness and the awareness. Is there degrees of enlightenment? Only if you look at it from the subjective point of view. I'll tell you what I know. I know that I should hold on to nothing. And that means that I should not hold on to people, places, things, even moments in time. Because when you try to hold on to something, and you find it difficult, you upset yourself. You become obsessive. I know that I shouldn't expect anything. I shouldn't desire anything. I shouldn't want anything. Because when you do, you limit yourself. Your focus becomes on one thing particular, and you miss everything else. Each moment has enough in it for a lifetime. If you don't just look at one part of it, one aspect of it, if you absorb it all, you'll never exhaust it. You'll never exhaust the moment. I know that whenever I am knocked off the point, this point of realizing that I shouldn't expect, I shouldn't want, that the moment holds everything I'll need, that I haven't, I'm not in that state. I have let my mind slip off into an area that wants something, expects something, is holding on to something. And I search for it, and I look for it. What is disrupting my mind? What is taking me away from where I want to be? Because there's nothing in a subjective reality that is going to go beyond the subjective reality. So you can hold on to it as much as you want. But in the end, it's going to be taken from you. And that's what people find so difficult, giving up what they're holding on to, because they think it's what they are. It's what they need to be, what they need to know, what they need to be aware of. I tell the story of two people laying in the graveyard, dead, of course. And they're talking. And they're saying, I did this and I did that. The other one says, I didn't do anything. And here they are, both of them laying in the graveyard. One accomplished a myriad of things. The other, more or less, was a freeloader, a bum, a scoundrel, a manipulator. And still they ended up in the same place. Well, you can do whatever you want in this existence, but that's where you're going to end up in this existence. We say life is this and death is that. We don't know either one of them. We've made it all up. We're confused about death because we can't go beyond the veil. But it's just another mental concept.